Looks to me like we definitely have a series here between the Pistons and the Knicks. The Pistons were actually up. I think the largest lead was 15 points. The Knicks were actually able to cut it down, and they were in a position to win the game at the end. And the Pistons, kind of for the second game in a row, squandered a lead. Now, the outcome wasn't like the first game in which the Knicks, I think, outscored the Pistons. I think they went on like a 22-0 run to close out the game. The Pistons didn't choke the lead away this time, and that's important. I think the Pistons may have learned their lesson and how to not lose games at the end of playoff games, just become, useless. But there was a stretch where I think the Pistons weren't able to really score. I think it was like a 3-4, maybe a 5-minute stretch with no field goals. The Knicks made it interesting, but there's something important we need to discuss, and that's who the Pistons are and what they're going to be like playing in Detroit. So overall, the game, these teams were pretty closely matched up. The the shooting, the Pistons shot the ball a little bit better. I think 3-point shooting wise, both these teams shot the ball pretty poorly. The Pistons were more aggressive, actually got to the free throw line, had 34 attempts and made 28 of them. So that's huge. That in Madison Square Garden, the Pistons were more aggressive, we're getting more calls, and we're getting some easier shots, getting some points the easy way at the free throw line. Offensive glass, the Pistons were +5. Defensive rebounding, they were also +9. So the rebounding edge went to the Pistons, right? So that helps them get more possessions. Probably one of the key indicators of why this game turned out the way it did. Points off of turnovers, the edge goes to the Pistons, even though the Pistons had more turnovers in total. Points in the paint was pretty close. I can't say there was anything unique there. But I think the most important takeaway, looking at kind of like, how the game played out. Cade was amazing, 33 points. He had 12 rebounds and 3 assists. Turned the ball over 5 times. He's going to want to clean that up. He got 20 points from Dennis Schroeder off the bench. Hit a huge 3 at the end of the game. Jalen Duren, 12 points. Tobias Harris, 15 points. Kind of the usual suspects for them. Malik Beasley didn't even have a big game. Tim Hardaway had a goose egg, 0 points. For the Knicks, it was Jalen Brunson. Mikal Bridges, nice game, 19 points. Josh Hart, OG Anunoby both had 10 points, but I'm sorry, Karl Anthony Towns, 10 points. That's a problem. Miles McBride, 8 points off the bench. Here's my takeaway from this game and what I'm looking forward to in a Game 3 that's going to be in Detroit. The Pistons aren't scared of the Knicks. The only person that's really given them a hard time so far, really, has been Jalen Brunson. Karl Anthony Towns was a no-show yesterday. Completely erased, eliminated, non-factor at the end of the game. Defensively, he's not very good. He did make a decent play in the fourth quarter. But I have some serious concerns about the Knicks right now. They're at risk of losing the series based on how they played in the first 2 games. Folks, outside of the fourth quarter of Game 1, and even, we'll say part of the fourth quarter of Game 2, the Pistons have been dominating the Knicks. Like, that's not an overstatement. Quarter 1, 2, and 3 in both games is all Pistons. They're playing harder. They're playing smarter. They're getting quality looks. They're also hitting tough shots when they have to. You're getting more from your supplemental guys. I have no idea what Karl Anthony Towns is doing in these crucial moments, but he needs to make an impact in some of these games. Or else the Pistons are going to win both games in Detroit, and we're going to have a 3-1 series in which the Knicks are going to have to win out the rest of the way. Do we know that the Knicks have the ability to beat these tough-minded Pistons in Detroit? I don't have faith that they're going to all of a sudden beat the Pistons 2 times. No way. In fact, I think the Pistons have a very high likelihood of winning both of these games in Detroit. Even if the Pistons only split in Detroit, Detroit knows that they can beat New York in New York. So they have no problem going back to Madison Square Garden and putting the whoopings on the Knicks. Brunson's playing good enough. A couple of the supplemental pieces are playing good enough. I just don't understand what Karl Anthony Towns is doing. You were the big acquisition for the Knicks, and you're not impacting the series. I mean, what are the expectations for star players now? Play well in some games, sometimes? We serious? So I'm critical of Karl Anthony Towns and his impact on the game. I really like what I'm seeing from the Pistons. Tough coach, tough leader in Kate Cunningham. Supplemental guys are doing a nice job. Dennis Schroeder was huge last night. Malik Beasley, like I said, he didn't even really play well, and the Pistons found a way to win. They held off the late game surge from the Knicks. I think the Knicks are in trouble. You can't beat the Pistons if Karl Anthony Towns isn't good. They got problems. And I think the Knicks are ripe for an upset in this round if things don't change like pretty damn quick.